You got his back because he was your friend. He gave you money. You know, because Legs made a lot of money. He made a lot of money.
So in the era of that time, Beat Street and all those things going on, okay, you were excluded from it. What happened with you guys after that? Did you now try to start something else for yourself?
I did. I started Original Skills in 1992. So before 1992, I was hurt. I was a hurt b-boy because I still wanted to dance. I still wanted to be a part of shit. And he was a tyrant. He didn't give a damn about me or anybody that gave him the opportunity, and took it upon himself to do everything for himself and whoever he had in front of him. Let alone we never knew he was abusing people back.
So did you feel that you were like blackballed?
More than blackballed. More than blackballed. I feel that I was used. You know, I feel that, he took something that we made up and ran with it. You know, he has an agency called Backspin Productions. Who made up the Backspin? Me.
You did.
You know what I'm saying? You know, he changes Rocksteady from Rocksteady to Portal Rocksteady, which is some Hebrew. I don't understand why we
do that. It's funny how people can steal your history and then try to change it, and people believe them. You know, it's hard to teach the kids the history if we teach them false history. You know, it's never going to be taught the right way because you got people that's telling lies. JoJo is the only one that tells the truth about this history. What is he gaining from? He's not gaining nothing from it. But it's the truth.
I haven't made one penny off Rocksteady.
No.
Not one penny.
Every events we've been doing since
he's been
years,
getting paid
doing out our pockets.
He's been getting paid lovely. You know, got a BMW, a house in Puerto Rico.
Okay,
he's doing great.
So, but to play devil's advocate once again, and I'm not defending
him.
I'm thinking of. Do you feel that he put in work? He did the movie. He was a great dancer.
We felt, of course.
He organized these guys, and these guys were magnificent dancers too. Kev-Ski, Buck Ford, Ken Swift. They were all amazing dancers. He then, goes on tour, does professional things. So do you feel that he put in the work to get the wealth that he accumulated?
I'm not going to take that.
But the discrepancy is that he took the name and the likeness from you and excluded you from the process moving forward.
When it wasn't like that in the beginning, it was supposed to be a team effort, all of us. You know, at least the two of us were supposed to go with him and do. You know, at least the two founding members, which was me and Jimmy, because Jimmy Lee was in jail a long time already. You know, so he ain't never coming out. You know, so we were the two founding, and then when Jimmy D left, it was just me. So Les is like, excuse me, I'm sorry, forget this guy. You know, and went about his business and just totally forgot me. I used to get harassed when I used to bring my cameras to the Rocksteady anniversary. Every time I bring my camera, you can't film, you can't do this. What you mean? I made up this name. I can't take pictures. You know, and I still managed to get I did it anyway. I got 9 Super 8mm tapes of all the Rocksteadies that I've been through for the last 9 years on Super 8 tapes with all the performances, all the VIP shots of all the celebrities smoking and chilling in the VIP and everything. I'm thinking of taking that and putting it together and just call it the history or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I do have it, you know. And my plans was never to do this. But now I feel like being that I've been excluded for so many years and I haven't made one penny, I'm entitled to do something with this now. You know what I'm saying? Because, not that I was old, but I deserve something, and I'm not screaming for props. I'm not asking for people to, forget, have pity for me or nothing. I'm just trying to get my story out. If nothing happens good for me, I got a worldwide family that loves me, and that's all that matters for me right now.
Oh. And just because I never liked the Legs, that's for one, I'm going to say. But you can't take the accomplishment from the man. He accomplished a lot of stuff. You know, he did a lot of stuff. I give it to him. That you cannot take from him. I would never disrespect him.
He brought it to worldwide. There's nothing, we know that.
What can you do is successful if you're having something behind closed doors? If you got something in your closet that you hiding, and you know what I'm saying? And everything to you is money, 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 What are you doing to give back to your community? What are you doing to give back to the kids? What are you doing to teach the kids? You're not doing nothing to teach them, unless it's got money behind it. That's not how it's supposed to be.
What was the band brother saying? Something and having fun? What was it again? I forgot how it goes.
Peace, love, hip-hop.
That's exactly what it was supposed to be.
Love, unity.
And
that's
unity
exactly
and
what it's supposed to be. And there wasn't none of that with him.
And then,
this time passes of the 80s, 90s roll in. Obviously, you guys are excluded. Where do you guys go individually? You go. What do you do after? Because in that same time period, the dance explosion kind of bubble fizzled out.
Mm-hmm.
So now it was no more mainstream.
I became a father. I moved when I was a father. And I moved out to upstate New York, and I was out the scene for 10 years, 13 years, and I had an argument with me, my wife at the time, Maria, got into a big argument, and I needed to get out the house. So I said, I speak to my mom. My mom's lived in Colorado, and she was like, why don't you come out here for a few months, fresh air. And I said, you know what I'm going to do? So I left, went out there. While I was out there, I get a phone call from Crazy Legs. And the only reason why I got it from him was because he ran into my cousin in the Bronx. And my cousin gave him the number and said, this is how you get a hold of JoJo, because he says he's been looking for me. The only reason why he was looking for me was because he couldn't tell the history of Rocksteady Crew. So he looked for me to get that history, So I'm in Colorado. I just got in for work. I was working, and my sister says, you got a phone call. I'm like, from where? She said, from New York. Somebody's calling you. I'm like, really? I answer the phone, and it's Crazy Legs. Yo, JoJo, what's up? Where you at, man? We need you to come to the 16th anniversary. The first one they did was a 16-year anniversary, after 16 years. He goes, we want you to come down to the Rocksteady anniversary. They're going to do 16-year anniversary. We need you to be here, break down the history. I said, man, I can't. I'm in Colorado, and this was like the following weekend it was going to happen. So it was really close. I couldn't come back, So I said, no, I can't make it. I'm in Colorado. He said, oh, you're in Colorado? This is at the time when they had Jam on the Groove, the play. Remember the play Jam on the Groove? They had the play, and they was about to go on tour with that play. Their first stop was Boulder, Colorado. The first stop. So that was a coincidence. So he goes, we're going on tour next week, and we're going to Boulder. How far are you from Boulder? I'm like, about 50 miles. And then I told my sister, I'm like, next week I got to go to Boulder for the weekend, and she looked at me strange, like, who you know in Boulder? You're from New York. I said, no, Rocksteady Crew's coming. They're on tour. They're doing the play in Boulder at the high school or something, and then they're going to go somewhere else. But they're going to be there for 1 week. And in Boulder, Colorado gave them a frat house for the week. A whole frat house, and they had food, partying, we party. I had the best time ever. And that was the first time that I got the taste of being popular and being noticed for who I was. And when they was about to perform, I went shopping. I went and I bought me a Yankee, because I'm an East Coast dude. So I went and bought me a Yankee starter hat, Adidas, New York down. And I actually danced. That was the first time I danced in 15 years, And
when you danced at that time, how was it for you to get down?
It hurt. It hurted. But you know what? I think the applause and the attention I got after summed it up for me. It made me feel. So that right there gave me the taste of coming back, because I felt, oh, these people want to know more about me, This guy can't tell the history. I'm the only one around. Jimmy D's gone. At one point, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know he joined the service. I said, why is he gone so long and he doesn't care about Rocksteady like I do? Why is he not involved? I say, he's either dead, either he turned into he's got a wig on and he don't want us to see him, or something bad happened with him that he's not coming forward. And something did bad happen with him. This is why he never came. And then he outscrewed that stature by staying 20 years. After 20 years, your stature is done, whatever you've done. So he stood the amount of time to get that stature down. He can't get in trouble no more because of that. But what he did was bad, and he left, and that was it. He threw Rocksteady away. When he left, he was like, I don't care about anything, I'm out.
So Kev, when things fizzled out with the scene and everything, what path did you go?
I started teaching, started doing community work. And I started just, doing everything and anything to give back in my community and other communities. So I started doing my work with Zulu Nation. I started doing work I started teaching at St. James, and I started continuing, because like I said.
We had St. James for a few years.
Yeah, we had St. James held down for a few years. And see, I always say it doesn't matter how much you grew up doing it and how much you like it. which is your knowledge is important to teach these kids. So that's what I decided to do, was to teach the kids from my point of view, or my little knowledge, or what knowledge that I have, you know. And also in JoJo too, you know, we all did it, we did it together, you know. And whatever I didn't know, or whatever I needed to know, you know, JoJo would fill in, you know, because that's how we are. We like a system, you know. If we work together, you know. It's what it is. You have to.
So throughout the years, like the modern era, from the mid-2000s to, it's been going on before that, but let's just say from the late 90s going on, been Rocksteady anniversary after Rocksteady anniversary, you know, annually.
Mm-hmm.
How do you guys feel about it? What was it like? Have you guys went to them?
I went to all of them that I went to for 9 years. I went to all of them. All the ones, the tapes I have was the ones I went
so
to.
How is that you have that discrepancy with Legs about this history and him, you know, taking it and doing what he did?
You know what it was too? Even when I was there, I didn't have the power to do nothing. I was just JoJo. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the power to say, hey, do this. The only thing I did do, and this shows you the things that how this person, how he was. You guys know Rerun, right? Rerun, what's happening? Fred Berry was out. Mr. Fred Berry was outside of the Rocksteady thing, and he couldn't get in. They wasn't letting him in free. They wasn't letting him in. This is a celebrity. This is a well-known dancer that dances, you know, pop rock, whatever. He, you know, it's still hip hop, you know, and he's a legend too, you know. Right. And I come outside and I see him like standing there arguing, like, yo, get Legs, yo, what the hell, you know. And I pass by him and I go, what's good, Rerun? And I hit him on the shoulder, like, what's good, Rerun? And I kept walking. And I went to the store because I wanted to change my gear for when we do the finale. I wanted to be Adidas down, so I found some Adidas. I changed. On my way coming back, Mr. Fred Berry was still outside. But then by the time I got to him, I remembered that I called him Rerun when I passed by him. And I said, wait a minute, this is Mr. Fred Berry. This ain't, he's Rerun, but literally he's Mr. Fred Berry. Let's show him his respect. So I came back and said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, Mr. Berry. I said, I know I passed by you and I called you Rerun. I'm so sorry, man. He said, but that's who I am. I said, but still, you're Mr. Fred Berry. By the way, what are you doing here? What's going on? Oh, they're not letting me in. Legs, it's not answering, you know. They tried to get the message because Legs was greedy. He wanted all the money. He wanted everybody to pay. And I got mad, and Legs' manager at the time was standing in the front, who showed me a lot of respect, even though he worked for Legs. I'm standing there, and I said, yo, what the hell's going on? I said, why is Mr. Berry out here, and he can't get in? Why is he out on the line? This is a celebrity. He said, oh, JoJo, we didn't know. I'm so sorry. Let him right in. 2 seconds, got him in. That was the only time I ever pulled my weight there, ever, you know?
You know what, something?
So you went there just to rap?
Mm-hmm. I went there to be a part of it. You know, I was getting attention for who I was. Yeah. So I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the fact that people were not acknowledging me for dancing for so many years, that I was being acknowledged. And I was content with that. I never asked for money. I never begged to take me anywhere, nothing. For him to act the way he's acting now, he's making it sound like I was a bad person, you know. Everybody he dealt with, he put through hell. Frosty, tried to put Frosty back in Rocksteady on his deathbed when he was dying. Try to put him back in Rocksteady. What kind of scavenger is that, you know? You know, and a lot of other things, like he did to me with Frosty when Frosty died. He had me stand on the bottom there of the stage. He said, yo, Joe, wait right here for a minute, right? I got some, wait right here. That's okay, so I waited on the side of the stage, thinking he was going to do something for me, you know? All right, cool. So I'm waiting. All of a sudden, DJ Premier was at the top of the stairs, right? So I know Premier. He looks over and says, hey, JoJo, what are you doing down there? I said, oh, I'm waiting for Legs to call me up. He said, call you up for what? And I said, I don't know. He told me to wait here. He said, well, they're taking a picture right now. I said, really? I go up there, this holding the Frosty shirt with everybody. Everybody from Rocksteady except me. And I'm like, why would he do that? And then after they got done, he seen that I made it to the stage and seen it. He turned and walked that way. Didn't even come my way. Because I think I probably would have yoked him or something. I don't know. You know, I was so mad, you know, that he dissed me like that. And he walked that way, you know. And he knew that he had security. If I would have done something to him, I would have probably got my ass beat because he had security. They would have grabbed me, whatever. Whoever, JoJo, so what? You know what I'm saying? He's the man with the money, you know. And that's it. So he did that. You know, and I can honestly say that out of all of them, Fable was the only one that sort of like stood up for me. You know, because at one point, they were doing the finale. At the end, they grab all the Rocksteady. Yo, we're going to do the finale. Everybody from Rocksteady, come up to the stage. Yo, Fable, go get everybody. We're going to do the finale. Fable says, okay, I'm going to grab everybody. I'm going to go get JoJo right now. He said, nah, don't get JoJo. Don't get JoJo. He said, why not? He said, just don't get him. Oh, man. After the finale, because I didn't make it up there, I finally make it to the back of the stage. Fable comes down with this look on his face. And I'm like, what's wrong? He said, yo, man, I'm very sorry, man. He said, but I wanted you to come up here for the finale. Legs didn't want you. I'm going to be honest with you. He didn't want you up here. I said, really? I said, he's such a snake, you know? I mean, to do that to me. And it ain't like he's paying me. It ain't like I was juicing Rocksteady for money. You know, nothing. I didn't get one red dime from him as far as like, you know, Rocksteady Crew, you know? So now, in this time and age, I see that, you know, a lot of things that's not going good for him. You know, and I'm the type of person that even though he disrespected me and throughout the years we just didn't like each other, I still don't want bad things to happen to him because that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? But in reality, it's what's going on now. There's no coming back from that with him.
So, what was your experience for all those years at Rocksteady?
Well, it was up and down because, you know.
Kev didn't go too many of them. When it died down, he sort of like fell back.
Just fell back because,
until,
and then another thing is
because he wasn't dancing, he was more like an MC, you know.
Yeah, and then that time that we did go to the anniversary, and then they didn't want to let didn't want us to let us in, but Fable was gonna let us in.
No, he wanted me in, but he didn't want to let Kev-Ski in.
Yeah, and then the funny thing is, see, this is how God works. We stood outside, and some guy I met that was a photographer, right? And he took pictures of me. You know, he took pictures of me. Then I brought him to JoJo to take pictures. Then he entered our pictures in the contest, and he came in second place. And we just met the man that day. You know,
I remember that.
You know, that's how strange God works. So when one door closed, another one opens. You know, so when you didn't want to let me in something, I just took pictures for a stranger, and our pictures came out in the contest of a lot of artists, and ours came in second place, you know? So, and you know, and we did it, we achieved a lot of things. Just like, remember when we, tell them about the Museum of Moving Images, you know? You know, this was a time that they was honoring how breakdancing and the martial arts are similar. You know, so we was being honored. That's when things even started taking off even more.
And was even more crazy by him saying that the guy that actually invited was my partner, who I taught how to dance years ago. My first partner named Spiderweb, and now he's a 5-time Grandmaster Tai Chi instructor now. He's literally the master.
Doing
it's
movies
crazy.
And all kinds of stuff.
He doesn't do movie. He has a movie, but he also does action sequences for movies, fighting scenes with weapons and stuff. That's what he does. His name, look him up, Jose Figueroa. That's his name. Yeah. You know, he's the original B-boy Spiderweb.
Now, let's go to the modern era. You know, the last, let's say, 2 weeks before the new year. The last 2 weeks, 3 weeks of 2020 was a lot of controversy. Some allegations came out about Crazy Legs, about sexual harassment, sending illicit photos to women, and it went from 1 allegation to 2 allegations, 3 allegations, to a lot of women telling their story. And I think myself, I read about 10 or 11 or 12 of them. I
got one right there when I went to Vegas for the big breakdance contest. I was a judge. I was picked out by Mr. Freeze to be a judge. While I was out there was a girl named Rachel Sanchez who was working under Mr. Freeze as a person. She lived in Vegas, so she knew how to get us to old Vegas and take us around. She was like an escort, take us around. Not a female escort, but I mean she escorted us around. Chaperone. So I remember standing outside, and she was with the Colombian breaking team with what's his name? Yes, him. You know, I met him for the first time out there, and he was with the Colombian team. So I'm like, oh, she says, what are you doing, JoJo? I said, I'm trying to do something. I'm here for 4 days. I want to have some fun. She said, come ride with us. We're going to Old Vegas. We're going to a club. I get to the club there. The Jabberwockies are there performing. Not even performing. They were in the crowd dancing without makeup, getting it in. I thought first they were a bunch of clowns, to be honest. I didn't know who they was. I'm like, who are these dudes? You know, because they was they wasn't doing their professional thing. They sort of like was unwinding and drinking and partying. So they were a little more sluggish and just having fun. So they didn't really look like the Jabberwockies. And so somebody said, those are the Jabberwockies right there. I'm like, word? Oh shit, you know, over there, what's up? And they was like, Joe, and they showed me mad love at that event, because at the end, when they all came out and took their masks off and they started going like this, all of them went like this and pointed at me when I was standing there in the judges table, you know, and that made me feel good to know that I was recognized. The whole time that I was there, Crazy Legs was there. He did not show his face, did not come to he was there. He must have been in VIP or something, but he didn't show I didn't see him at all for the 4 days that I was there. So anyway, Rachel Sanchez, right? After I put out a post on him, like condemning what he's done and all this, and a lot of people liked what I said. And Rachel Sanchez seen it, and she reached out to me. Now, I haven't spoke to her since that event in Vegas, which was 10 years ago or something. She goes, hey, you don't remember me? I said, no. She said, I just want to thank you for coming forward on Crazy Legs. She said, because he actually did it to me too. I said, what? Really? She said, yeah, and I'm going to tell you what he did. He sent me a dick pic and some other stuff, you know, and I'm like, really? She said, yeah. And I was nervous because I didn't know what to do, because I was an up-and-coming dancer. I wanted to be down, and this was a dream come true. But I felt that if I didn't do anything or did anything, you know, I was going to lose my chances. But I was strong enough to walk away. So what I did was I just avoided him. She said she avoided seeing him, and he didn't stop. And there's other people. Tell them about the lady with the daughter. Tell them about her uncle.
Yeah.
And her husband's going to get him because he went after some lady's daughter.
Yeah,
you know?
it's hard to sit back and accept things when you work with kids, you know? I've been teaching kids for so many years, you know? And not one time that I suffer from depression, you know? And not one time that I ever use my depression or anything wrong with me as an excuse to do anything to any children. Because for one, I have children of my own. You know, and the thing we got to learn is we have to protect our children, not protect somebody because you got a name or you got a platform, or even if you're famous. We have to protect our children. When our children talk, we got to listen, because, you know, I've been dealing with children so long. Now I even moved further in my life. I became a chaplain. You know, I'm a certified chaplain, and just to know and to see that people are doing things to children and they can't be accounted for it, and people are making excuses all because of money. Money shouldn't define what God's words. God say protect the children. And if you know, how can we do this and call ourselves a role model or icon or anything if we're going around doing things to harm the children, you know? Or anybody of any age, or disrespect to anyone.
And the last time he said something about kids, he was on stage and he said, oh, that's why all my kids are straight A students, the ones that I have been involved with.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
too much pressure on kids too. You know, you gotta let kids, you know, and be kids, you know. You can't put too much, and just because, you know, you're a known person, you can't, use your platform to do things with kids in a sexual way or any kind of way. Any disrespectful way, you know. Enough is enough, you know. And we knew this for years, that these things was going on. Nobody knew it specifics, only unless you was around him. But we heard a lot of allegations and stuff for years and years. You know, we can't judge on stuff that we heard from years. But the stuff is coming out now.
Why you think those women,
you know, all the stuff that's coming out now, everybody's coming forward. You got to believe what's there. And
those Rocksteady females that were down all quit.
Yeah.
Bonita, the other one, they all left. If it was that there was proof that he wasn't, if these were just allegations, they would have never quit.
1 or 2 is an allegation to me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or more.
It's a problem.
That's right there. That means you did it. I don't care what nobody say. Even if it was me. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was me, if the truth is the truth, you know, and there's a lot of people coming forward saying that I did something, which, you know, I'm not saying I'm the perfect person, because I'm not. But one thing I do, I stay in my boundaries. I don't go beyond my boundaries. You know, I have 3 daughters, you know, and I'll protect my daughters with every part of my life. But and to see somebody, and I will protect anybody else's daughter the same way I protect mine. You know, because I work with, you know, I'm a co-founder of the Kids in New York. I've been doing that for over 15 years out of pocket. I have never made no money doing the stuff that I did for over 40 years. You know, and even if I did make money, I wouldn't use it as a tool to do things that I shouldn't do.
So, with that, those allegations coming, he made some statements. First, kind of admitting to what he did. Then he made some statements to kind of patch up what he said previously. Rocksteady members all pretty much resigned for the most part. All the main members. It seemed like more than all the main. It seemed like everyone resigned. With what's going on with him and what's going on with all the members leaving, it kind of puts the crew at a precarious position.
Yeah, but you can't get help if you don't admit it.
Well, I'm not really talking about him as Rocksteady Crew, you know. JoJo, when you talk about what's going on with Rocksteady and all the things, all the ins and outs and all the ups and downs in your relationship with Crazy Legs, the one thing I get from you is that it was more so the passion about the fact that you created this and you want to be a part of it. You don't want the money, you don't want the fame, you just want to be a part of it.
Exactly. And you know what? I was a part of it for a lot of years. That when I went to the anniversaries, all I did was be there. And I got recognition, I got pictures. I had people that from China, Japan. Oh, JoJo, JoJo, take a picture, you know. And how they know me, you know what I'm saying? So those things is what I look forward to. I didn't look forward to a check. If he would have been a real down-to-earth person, he would have been at the end of the Rocksteady say, yo, here you go, JoJo. Yo, you're in this with us, you know what I'm saying? So, instead, he kept it for himself.
So with that being said, you know, it seems like the name has been tarnished.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very.
Big time.
How do you feel about that, and what do you feel should happen moving forward with the crew?
What we're doing right now is what we're doing about it right now. This is what we're doing about it. We're speaking out. We're letting people hear the true story. People need to know, you know, how things started. You know, that he took it and ran with it without permission. You know, nobody said, take the crew and forget everybody and you own it. I never said that. Jimmy D never said that. We said, take a chapter. Flourish with the chapter and we'll get together. And then when popularity started happening, he did call me and Jimmy. But that was it, to be there. You know, and then when Jimmy left, and Jimmy wasn't tarnished because Jimmy got in trouble when he left. So he wasn't there for the whole 90s and all that. I was all those years. I put in the work all those years being there. You know what I'm saying? To be years now in 2020 to be pushed to the side and not even get the backing of my friend who I thought was my friend Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? To turn around and say that, you know, that it was formed by him and then tell lies. That we battled Spies, Shorty Rock, and, you know, and actually Spies in jail, I got his information. I write to him all the time. I send him money and everything. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? He went to see Spy, promised him a dream, and said, I need you to put your information about CC Crew so you could, whatever it was that he went to him for, and we didn't do nothing for him. Nothing. So Spy's pissed off at him. Spy wants to kick his butt when he sees him. You know what I'm saying? Because he feels like he used them. How are you going to use somebody when they're down and out? That just shows your character as a person, you know? So.
You know, Rocksteady name is going to always be Rocksteady. Because, you know, it's a team. It's a team that makes a name, you know, of something.
It says it in the name, Rocksteady Crew.
It was a crew, you know? And just because one person in the crew had different ideas of doing something that was illegal, you know, don't mean everybody else have to be affected by one person, you know? One person's disaster don't have to be somebody else's, you know, destruction, you know? That's something he got to hold for the rest of his life. That's not something that, you know, a lot of people dropped and everything, understandable. But that's something shouldn't tarnish the name. It should tarnish the person.
Well, now how he's going to feel when he starts to see, you know, things happen for me, you know? And I would like to get that gratification, you know, to say that you're feeling pissed off because things are happening for me. just like how I felt left out and pissed off when you didn't even bother.
Yeah, you exclude somebody out their
history.
history.
You didn't even bother. The smallest little thing would have made me happy. You know what I'm saying?
Say for a younger person, right? A younger person that's coming up of age in this game, right? To them you might sound like a hater.
Yeah.
What do you say to someone or people from your own
they need to dig. They need to do their history. They need to do their research and then find out. You can't judge a book by its cover. You got to read the book, right? And so people need to find out, the truth. Because I'm not hating. I never hated. I always been. Everybody knows me. I never hated.
Why hate if you put in the work?
And to be honest, this is the most. I swear to God to my kids, this is the most that I said, the most bogus stuff that I ever said about this man. And it's been coming out for the last couple of weeks. And I've been silent for 20 years. I haven't said anything. Never spoke on anything. So it's not that I'm hating. Not that I waited 20 years and built up this hatred for him. No. I waited. I said to myself, I didn't think I was ever going to get the opportunity. I thought that he was just going to be glorified as the A1 B-boy, and that was it, But I never dreamed, I never threw that dream away in my mind. I always thought that one day I'm going to be known for who I am and what I've done, And he was the one that put that stop, He had that, he had the means to do that, to make things messed up for me, And then everybody else that was down there with my so-called friends didn't do anything because they didn't want to lose their spot because that's how he was. Anybody done something for me, they was done with him.
And why could you hate on something that you was a part of?
And I didn't even
something
know
you created.
I didn't even know he hated me until Jimmy told me. That just shows you another thing. I didn't know this man hated me. He told me, "Yo, I hate you, B." Really? For what? What'd I do to him? He said, you tried to jeopardize Rocksteady. How did I try to jeopardize Rocksteady? I said, I've been the humblest dude. I always been around. I always wanted to be a part of shit. You know what I'm saying? And then Jimmy said the same thing. Jimmy D said, why you acting like you want? He said something about that props are earned. You don't go asking people for props and stuff like that. And I said, wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Excuse me. What you mean by that it's earned? I earned my props all these years. You've been gone for 20 years. You ain't earned nothing. You know what I'm saying? So you need to shut up. Don't come talk, And when I told him about the allegations, even though he knew, I said, something has to be done about this, B. You need to make a statement. He says, I don't know what to do because this man stood in my house and everything. I'm like, really? He stood in your house? You know what I'm saying? So Legs has been out with him. Legs has hung out with him. Legs done shit for him. He has a store, a toy store that he owns, Jimmy D, in San Diego. And that's through Legs. Legs helped him get that store.
Yeah, money.
Jimmy couldn't do it on his own.
It's all about money.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and that's what he's doing now. He didn't tell anybody. He said, I just sit down and collect money for my store, my toy store, blah, blah, blah. So Legs sort of set him up where he's good. This is why you see that Jimmy doesn't want to say anything about Crazy Legs. You know what I'm saying?
And how could you hate on something that you was a part of and you created? The ones who should be hating is the ones who tell false history and the ones who lie about the history and say things they done that they never done. Those are the ones should be hating. You should hate on those who wasn't there. The ones who didn't go home with sore knees, sore hands, and stuff like that. When you put in the work for so many years and you created something because it was something that was put there in your mind to create. You was the creator. It's something you build in your mind, something you analyze or whatever the case may be, and you put it into form. How could you hate on that?
You know, and the people that knew me and knew my story, not that they had pity for me, but knew that I was entitled. And now that this is all happening, I'm getting all that back in from them now. Because they're feeling that, this is your time now. You need to come back, not to take over Rocksteady, because to be honest, I don't want Rocksteady. I got original skills. I love original skills. And I put in over 20 years. 1992 is when original skills was made. So I put in mad years for that alone. Not to do it, and somebody asked him one time, because of me, is Original Skills and Rocksteady like one together? And like say, hell no, I ain't got nothing to do with Original Skills Crew.
No,
that's
it
just
ain't.
the hatred of him. You know what I'm saying? But yet I would say, yes, Rocksteady is a part of me.
Yeah, because
of
original
me,
skills is original thinkers, original history, everything original. That's what it means, original. Everything we do is original. The history is original, our clothing is original, and the way we do things is original. It ain't no forced history. That's why it's called original skills. It's not no other way to sum it up.
Nice. So in closing, what message do you have to this generation and generations forward? Because we've seen what happened with Bambaataa, probably, if not the most revered figure in hip hop when it comes to the culture.
Exactly.
And now you have another top figure, revered as probably you say the A1 B-boy. Mm-hmm. When you say breaking, breakdancing, B-boy, it's synonymous with Crazy Legs.
Exactly.
So we're seeing two pivotal figures going down due to sexual misconduct, being illicit, what some might say could be rape, whatever. What message do you have to the generations now moving forward?
Do your homework. I say do your homework because see, you remember in this time and age that we have social media, we got the internet and all that stuff. Years ago, you didn't have that stuff. Sometimes you can look up a person's name and find out if they did anything legal. Let me tell you something. When I worked as, I volunteered for over five years in St. James teaching kids. They investigated me 6 times. The feds and all of them investigated me 6 times, right? I went through fingerprints. I went investigation, all that 6 times. You know why they didn't find nothing on me? Because they had nothing on me because I never did nothing. So do your research. If you're going to have somebody that's teaching you, have your parents or something, do your research. Why? Because you nowadays you could put a person's name in the computer and you can find out their history. You can find out if they have something hidden in the closet like sexual behavior or whatever, you know. And you can look at mine and there's nothing there. And same as JoJo. Because why? We believe in kids. We don't do stuff like that. Why? Because they're our future. We learned that years ago. And the reason why we do what we do, and the reason why we've been doing events that we do, and we pay out our own pocket, and we don't have the money like that, but the reason why we do these events that we do, and we take money that we don't have out our pockets, because we believe in kids, and we cherish kids. We would never do nothing to disrespect. We do
with our other partner, Anthony Cologne.
As the Kids of New York.
The Kids of New York. We do it. We've been doing it for the last 15 years.
Yeah, 15 years.
15 years, and we're still doing it.
This year is 15 years.
It's a free breakdance event for kids. They win trophies, they get cash, and we feed every 200-300 people.
Everything, yep.
We feed 200 or 300 people.
And we give out plaques and everything. Nothing comes out of anybody's pockets. The kids or nobody, not even to get into the event is you have to pay. Everything
is free. The contest is free, and you win 100, sometimes 200.
Yeah, sometimes we have money prizes. You know, and everything is free. But see, that's the difference between us. A lot of people don't do what we do. A lot of people will charge you just to go to an event, you know? But what we do is we love our community, we love kids.
If we was to get some good sponsorship, all that money would go towards making this the best, 3 times better than Rocksteady events. You know, that's my dream right now. My goal right now is to get that to where Rocksteady was.
My goal
is to be the Kids of New York, the hugest B-boy event in the whole New York City. Run by us, the ones,
also
the legitimate
people. Also,
people,
open something, you know? Open a community room or something, or can maybe afford a building to open something. I can have something for kids to get off the streets. Or, a youth center or something, whatever it may be. And even if teaching or whatever it is, but it has to be something to teach the kids. That's my main goal from now and even into the future.